Welcome to Crypto.Zone, your go-to spot for all things crypto. Here we dive into market trends, altcoin gems, and blockchain innovations, helping you stay ahead in the ever-evolving world of crypto. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is financial advice. Always do your own research before investing. Want exclusive insights? Join the Patreon where I share buy and sell picks, market updates, and behind-the-scenes content. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's ride the crypto wave together.
Welcome back. Welcome to Crypto Excel. I know you guys are like, where have you been? There's just been a lot going on, guys. I actually had I got sick and I had to recuperate, right? Um, but let's jump right back into the market. That's what we're here for. Let's talk about a few things to, recalibrate and to let us know where we are and then where we're going. Um, so I was mentioning Bitcoin hitting 120K a long time ago. And lo and behold, we hit 123K and we pulled back. Uh, I also mentioned Ethereum doing what Ethereum does during a bull market. And we were buying Ethereum at the lows over here. And so, $1,400 Ethereum and $2,000 Ethereum, we were just DCAing in. I called Ethereum way back. I think I called Ethereum about 2 months early, actually, before it hit the lows of 1400. That all being said, we were still DCAing in. I also mentioned to get into the large caps, the outperforming altcoins. I switched strategies because I saw that the micro caps were being decimated, and I was not very happy about that. I wasn't happy about the micro caps being obliterated. But that all being said, if you were acquiring the leading large cap altcoins, you would still be in a decent place. I do believe that we're now in Ethereum season. I think it's shifted from Bitcoin season to Ethereum season, and it's a lot better to know that before it happens, which we actually did. We were getting into Ethereum at the lows at 1400. There was a lot of coins we got in at the lows. We got into the Fart coin. If you go back and check the videos, I also mentioned getting into Fart coin with a low leverage long, and Fart coin was 20 cents, 50 cents, and the lower numbers, and holding low leverage long at those prices would be awesome. We got into a lot of these meme coins at very low valuations, and now it's just to hold while we experience Altseason. Okay, this has not been said. It's probably in the intro of the video, but this is not financial advice. I'm simply a crypto investor / enthusiast, and this is all for learning purposes only. You can lose all of your money in crypto. I am not a big institution that's buying Bitcoin and pushing the price of Ethereum. It's not me. Okay, so make sure you manage your risk. All right, so where are we in the market? Well, you currently see that Bitcoin's at $116,000, which is quite high, actually. the bull market has been going on now. This is for 3+ years. We're going into the fourth year right now. We're in the fourth year of the bull market. So if you're just showing up now, we've been in the bull market for quite some time. So we are in a tail end of Bitcoin doing what Bitcoin does, going haywire. Does that mean that Bitcoin does not go any higher? Look, no one predicts the future, right? I will say that we've been pretty accurate on this channel. We've been accurate on a lot of our calls, and we've done quite well actually in our calls. I don't think this is the end. I don't think Bitcoin stops here. If you look at how Bitcoin moves, it it has a blast up, right? And then it stalls out for quite a while, or it may come down a little bit, then it blasts off again. Okay, so it's stalling out, but you also have to take into account when we're in the last ends of the bull market, the time it takes stalling doesn't take as long as before. Okay, so we're going to experience another leg up, and we might experience another leg up pretty soon. According to the M2 money supply, that's another thing. On this channel, we talked about Bitcoin following the M2 money supply. That's how we were able to ascertain that Bitcoin would hit 120K. We said that according to the M2 money supply, we were supposed to have another surge up, but the 120 came from the Fibonacci retracement. That was the next level in the Fibonacci retracement. So where do we go from here? Bitcoin, again, will continue to go up, but more importantly, Ethereum. I think Ethereum is now something to focus on because Ethereum has broken past the $4,000 level, and it is now heading back to all-time highs. Right? We had difficulty breaking this 4K for quite some time. We actually rejected here. We actually rejected at 4K for a while, right? Last time, okay, so we came up to 4K. This is November 2021. That was all-time highs. This is 4.8K. And then we had a brutal bear market. Ethereum went down to $900, but this is 2022. This is quite some time ago, right? So all of this right here is accumulation, if you're patient enough. So crypto is not, you don't have to necessarily be a brain surgeon to make money in crypto, but you have to have a combination of discipline, and you have to be relatively smart, but you have to be disciplined. I think that's the most important ingredient, because you basically have to be holding all of this time and accumulating when it looks like this project, you don't know how low it's going to go. You don't know if it's going to fail, so you're still taking a tremendous amount of risk, right? So then in October 2023, it breaks out and it goes from around roughly 1,500 back up to 4,000. This is a huge amount of gain. That's about a 3x. But after it hits the 4,000, after it hits the 4K, it pulls back again, right? It pulls back to about 3K. And so this is 2024, it has a low of 2,000 again. Then it goes back up to 4K. And now this is resistance. So here's resistance, and here again, it's resistance. But if you look at this candle on the weekly, so far it's broken out. And it could always reject and come back down. If it does reject, I believe that it'll use its 4K as support. I don't think it's going to reject and break back through and go down. And because if it did, that would be horrible for Ethereum and the bull run in general. So I do not think it's going to break its 4K again. It might use it as support. The question is, how high do we go up until it comes down and test it for support? If I was guessing, I would think that it will go back to all-time highs, which is about 4,800, and that could happen quickly due to the fact that we're in the fourth quarter of a post-half year, right? And also due to the fact, if you look at Bitcoin dominance is at a critical level, and if Bitcoin dominance breaks this level where we're at right now, this is about 60%, 59.8%, 60%. If it breaks this, we get a cascade down to approximately 40%. And this right here is where you get your 10x, 20x, etc. in certain altcoins. Okay. Now what I think might happen is I don't we might not just break it right away. We might get a little bounce here, but I think that bounce will be a dead cat bounce on Bitcoin dominance. And during that bounce on Bitcoin dominance, we could see Ethereum retrace. So what I expect is Ethereum probably to head back to all-time highs, Bitcoin dominance to retrace, and Ethereum to come down, right? And try to test support. And when that happens, then you're looking at the altcoins getting wrecked, right? And this will be the final shakeout. This is what I expect to happen. What the news will be to make all of this happen, I really don't care about. But I don't think it's going to be this easy where it's just like, set it and forget it. Just throw a dart at all coins and everything goes up. But I will tell you that because we are in August now, it's very dangerous to be outside of the market because this market could move lightning fast in one day. And in one day, some of these coins could end up doing a couple 100%. So just be very, very careful. So I would definitely be in the market right now because if we get this initial surge of Bitcoin dominance, if we get a quick dump like this, any one of these bars, and you're not in the market, depending on the coin, this could be 100, 200% pump. So just be very, very careful. Um, so I definitely be in the market now, right? However, I'm expecting Ethereum dominance to reign supreme, especially on the next pullback, and we will see what will happen on the next pullback. I think on that pullback, the other altcoins get more damage than Ethereum, and I think that next pullback might be your last chance to get in on this massive, massive wave that's about to come. I completely went off script, but I had a few things that I had to talk about. Those things that I had to talk about. So let's see here. Right? This is not financial advice. This is crypto Excel, etc., etc. Ethereum is officially in breakout mode. Okay, I mentioned that. We're pushing to all-time highs. That's true. And let's talk about price points. This is important. So according to the analysis, Ethereum might potentially reach 6,500 to 7,500 by the end of 2025. So the question is, why do you care? Because Ethereum's already 4,200. Even if it reaches 6,500, who cares? Let's talk about my altcoins. Well, the reason why you care is because the way how money flows, it goes to Bitcoin first and then it goes to Ethereum. So I believe for us to have a ridiculous altcoin season, Ethereum first needs to break all-time highs, right? So all-time highs in Ethereum is 4,800. And we are at 4,200. So that leaves another 500 or so for Ethereum to get to all-time highs. Now, when Ethereum hits all-time highs, remember what I told you, crypto is not that simple. It tricks you, it fools you, and it does the opposite of what you expect it to do. So there's a good chance that when we hit this, we get rejected also over here. And again, when we get that rejection up here, the other altcoins are going to get devastated. So I don't think, the total three has been moving well. All coins have been moving well. Others have been moving well. But again, I don't buy it yet. I think there is going to be one final shakeout at some point. And okay, we're at resistance now with others, right? So this is the others excluding the top 10. So these are the top 100 or 125 coins. And if you look, we keep on hitting. This is about 320 billion, somewhere around here, and we reject. And right now we're pumping. So I think we'll do this for a little bit, and at some point we might come back and touch this line. When we come back and touch this line, that's it. If you're not in when we touch this line, well, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. And again, I don't know what the news is going to be. Maybe there's aliens coming, or Trump is not sure about tariffs, or there's some. I don't want to say what's going to happen. What I think might happen. Some weird attack somewhere. Civilian attack somewhere. Anything could happen, but some kind of news that will bring this total the top 10 back to this line. It's possible, right? I don't think it's that easy where you just set it and forget it, unless you want to just, come back in a month or 2 months and close your eyes. Then it doesn't really matter, But absolutely, I would be exposed to the market right now, but I would have cash on the side in case we come back to this line. If we come back to this line and you do not DCA here, I think that will be a mistake. All right. And this is not financial advice. You can lose all your money. So make sure you take responsibility for your decisions. So ETH topping out at ETH might hit 6,500, 7,500. The reason why you care is because Ethereum is now going to be listed in 401k plans. So I know a lot of people have most of their money in 401ks, right? Or they might have like real estate or 401ks. Reason why you do care about this is because crypto is now an acceptable use of collateral in the United States, and what the United States does, the Western world follows. So you might be able to use your Ethereum or Bitcoin to accumulate more real estate. Next, being able to have Ethereum or other crypto, they're going to open up other cryptos to 401k plans. So cryptos, as you know, move, especially during Altseason, they do 400% gains. Okay, so imagine you have a big chunk of money in your 401k plan and it's open up to crypto, and then your 401k does a 400% gain in a couple of months. So I think you should care. Not financial advice. So moving on, how close are we to Altseason? Okay, Altseason, I think we're pretty close. I just showed you Bitcoin dominance, right? And I showed you that we're right at the precipice. We're right at the gates of Valhalla here. You see this huge dump? And it's very important to pay attention to how quickly this happens. This happens so quickly. And by the way, when we're down here, that's when all the retail comes in. Retail comes in after these things have gone 20x, then retail comes in right here because they can't believe people made that much money in such a short amount of time. That's why it's dangerous for you to not be in the market, because if this happens, and this could take 2 weeks where it really gets going, and then you're like, oh man, I better go. Well, after that, things already did 500%. That's why it's dangerous to be out of the market. In my opinion, not financial advice. Right. So it says right now, Bitcoin dominance is still high, but ETH is outperforming. Bitcoin is one of the first major signs that Altseason is approaching. I believe we are 2 to 4 months away from peak Altseason. 2 to 4 months away. Well, 2 to 4 months away from peak Altseason, not from the start of Altseason. Going back to what I was saying, we are probably in Altseason. If Bitcoin dominance doesn't bounce right now, this breaks, and then this starts to happen. So we are probably in altcoin season right now. And the difference between getting in here or getting in here is retirement. That's the difference. Difference between, there's a difference between like a 50% gain and like, a 1,000% gain, right? So it's very important. Oh, so speaking on, I mentioned 10 to 20x games and even 50x if you're lucky, if you're very lucky. If Heroes of Mavia actually goes back to what Gala Games did, the amount of percentage gains here that are possible. Let me just. It's unfathomable what could happen. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, because all of the ducks will have to align in a row for it to happen, including that gaming comes back at the same time as peak Altseason. Like literally everything has to happen at the same time as we get a liquidity injection. The M2 money supply is an injection, but even more of an injection. So literally all the cards have to line up, and then all of a sudden gaming comes back in the forefront too. But if that were to happen, we're talking about like 8,000% gains, like just ridiculous amounts, unfathomable amounts that sound unrealistic, that are possible. But again, you should really look at what the valuation of Ethereum is. I was going to say Bitcoin, but Yeah. But Ethereum, look at the valuation of Ethereum and where are we with Ethereum. And if Ethereum gets too frothy, if it gets too high, you might want to consider taking profits. Okay. Do not wait until you get a 50x. Don't wait for it because it might not come, right? But again, that's not financial advice. That's my opinion on the markets. So if Mavia even does a fraction of Gala's 2021 move, we could be talking 20 to 50x returns from here. Okay, so the strategy moving forward, hold a core ETH position. If you did not get into position when we were on this channel, well, Ethereum, we're looking at by the peak, it could be 6,000, 7,000 or somewhere around there. If we have an extended cycle going into 2026, we're talking about $16,000 Ethereum. It's up to you how you handle your risk. I was going to say leverage, but I think risk is the more appropriate word. Leverage, a way to look at leverage is how many altcoins you have versus Ethereum at this point. Bitcoin, I don't know if Bitcoin would be my core after Bitcoin's like almost 120K right now. So obviously that probably wouldn't be my core asset. Maybe my core asset is probably leaning more towards Ethereum because of risk reward wise at this current stage in the market, Ethereum seems to be a wiser move. Yes, you can go and get all of these altcoins, but you're playing a gamble because Ethereum dominance right now is obliterating altcoins. Ethereum is beating most altcoins, and we're at the Ethereum portion of the cycle, right? We're not at the Bitcoin portion of the cycle, and we're not in complete mayhem alt season yet. Alt season is starting, but Ethereum is still dominating the altcoins. So my core would be Ethereum at this point. And then certain alts, if you know, like Ondo, Aerodrome, Say, Sui, those would be my core. But the train has kind of already started to leave the station, started to leave the track. So buying right now, you have to be able to stomach a pullback. Okay, if you were to buy right now today, a pullback could happen, and you'd have to be able to just stomach it. And because 3 weeks after that, there is no such thing as a pullback after that. You're in profit after the 3 weeks. In my opinion, not financial advice. But again, things just don't go straight up forever in a straight line, okay? So make sure you manage your risk. Okay, so that's my breakdown. ETH, Mavia, 20x plus winners. It's good to be back. And I will keep you posted on what's going on and where I see things going. But it's important to manage your risk and make sure that you have a plan for this bull market. No one knows exactly what the future is going to hold and exactly when things are going to unfold in what months. I will say that normally in the 4 cycles that we've had, it's usually Q4 of the post halving year, which we are currently about to enter. Actually, that would be October, November, and December. But right now in July, August, September, things are heating up, and it looks like the market wants to move now. Right? Bitcoin dominance fell now. Okay, so you have to take what the market gives you. Bitcoin already had its pullback, and it looks like it's going sideways, and it looks like it might make another move up. You have to take what the market's giving you, right? We are in a bull market, and according to the RSI and according to the M2 money supply, we're supposed to be entering a raging bull market now. So it's a possibility that we get this crazy run and Bitcoin moves now, and then Ethereum really moves and outperforms Bitcoin. And by really moves, I mean Ethereum surprises everyone and it moves quickly, and we get these big, powerful green lines like we've had in Bitcoin, but Ethereum starts doing that, and it surprises everybody. And then people want to get into Ethereum, but when people are ready to, because Ethereum is going to be outperforming the altcoins, right? And then everyone gets into Ethereum, And when they do, the altcoins start outperforming Ethereum massively. And then after we get that massive run up, heading into, end of August, September, early September, it's possible that we get a massive pullback, or we get a pullback, and the altcoins get hurt a lot. And that it might look like the end of the market, but it's possible that it's not. And we end up coming back, and we actually end up going into the Q4 of 2025 for a massive altcoin season. I'm saying what is possible. Make sure along the way you manage your risk. If you're in tremendous profits, it might be wise to take some, because remember, most people don't leave the crypto market in profit. Okay? And the reason why is because what everyone expects to happen, when everyone expects to happen, doesn't happen. It happens differently, right? This has been a very strange cycle. We've hit all-time highs before the halving, and altcoin season did not happen of Q1 of the post-halving year, not even Q2 of the post-halving year. So this is quite an interesting cycle. Well, this has been Crypto Excel with your market update. I'm going to see you guys next time. Make sure that you're doing well. Take your profits and make sure you have a strategy. Peace.
Welcome to Crypto.Zone, your go-to spot for all things crypto. Here we dive into market trends, altcoin gems, and blockchain innovations, helping you stay ahead in the ever-evolving world of crypto. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is financial advice. Always do your own research before investing. Want exclusive insights? Join the Patreon, where I share buy and sell picks, market updates, and behind-the-scenes content. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's ride the crypto wave together.